Today I'm cycling up to Biwako, Lake Biwa, and it's only going to be a short day, and hopefully I can find a rider house at the end. And just to clarify what a rider house is, they're very low cost accommodation specifically for motorbike riders, and also they take in cyclists and hikers. So people on their way around Japan under their own steam or on a motorbike. I found a few in Hokkaido, and I believe there's a whole network of them throughout the rest of Japan. The problem is that there's no information on the internet in English about them, and so I haven't really come across any yet in Honshu. And this one that I'm aiming for today I was told about it by another cyclist who speaks and reads Japanese, so he knew about this one. But like I said, I believe there's a whole network of them around, but tapping into that network as a non-Japanese speaker is pretty difficult. I've spoken before sometimes about how Komoot sometimes can lead you into the bush or on a really stupid road, and this is a perfect example. Down there is the main road, and it's quite busy, but it does have a bit of a shoulder, so it's okay. But I just thought I'd follow the detour as shown on the map and avoid the busy traffic for a little while. And I've already done a few of those this morning, and each one has worked out brilliantly. But today, now, it's different, because the more I go along their proposed route, the wilder and bushier it gets, and this path stops altogether. And I don't really want to walk down there. I've already been down there once, but it's full of spiders. Spider webs right across the path, and they are humongous spiders. Now, a few days ago I went into a park, also suggested by Komoot, and those spiders were just everywhere, and I was absolutely terrified. Because everywhere I turned, there were these humongous spiders across the path, and I'm not keen to repeat the experience. So I'll see if I can video one from a distance. There are a couple up there, but I don't know if the camera will pick them up. So here we are. I've crossed over the main pass between the coast and Lake Biwako. I was too stuffed when I was at the top to take any footage. Besides, all you could see was hills and trees. But I feel now is a good time to set the record straight about Komoot, because despite all my whinging and sooking, it's actually really, really good. So Komoot, if you're listening, I love you. And the reason I love Komoot is down there is a really busy road, and that's one way that I could be going to where I'm headed to today, to Lake Biwa. Of course, when I'm filming, there's hardly any traffic, but at other times it's just non-stop. But Komoot has told me to come on this road, and I've been on it for a couple of minutes now, just standing here fiddle-farting around, and not one car, nothing. So yeah, looks like it's very quiet and civilised. So I've had to cross two ridges today. I'm all red and hot and sweaty and absolutely drenched. Shirt sopping wet. The first ridge was quite hard work. I had to push a fair way up, and this second one's just a baby. It only took me 15 minutes to push my way up, but it is 8%, so quite steep. So far I've been passed by one motorbike and two cars, so it's very quiet. And yeah, thank you again to Komoot for taking me on this road. Slowly going downhill, forest on both sides. Have to say thank you again to Komoot, because I've got to stay on their good side. Don't want them to sue me for slander or libel or goodness knows what, and then I'd have to sell my soul in order to raise the money to defend myself. So anyway, beautiful road, lovely forest on both sides. Hope there's no bears. Saw my first bear sign again today, first one in a long while, so there must be bears somewhere. Hopefully not here. I've realised there's one problem with going downhill slowly in their country on a lovely smooth road, is your bear bells there don't make any noise. I need them to jingle jangle to warn the bears of my coming. But yeah, they don't jingle jangle, but there's probably no bears here anyway. It's all just a myth to scare the tourists. So back there are the hills that I came through. It's opened up, the valley is opened up, and it's quite beautiful, I must say. Everything's so green and lush. Mind you, the air is really quite humid today. And down there is the village that I'm hoping has got a rider house in it, and if not, I'll have to find a campground. Found the rider house, and I know it's a rider house because it says it's a rider house. It only remains to be seen if I can actually get in. That sign says that there's a public toilet further down on the beach. This door actually opens into a toilet. This door opens into a shower room. Where's the main entrance? I found the main entrance. This sign says it's open, reception's open at 6, and this one here says that he's at work. Do I wait around till 6 o'clock? That is the question. So here we are at Lake Biwa, or Biwa Cove. My bike and I, we've made it. We're at one end of the lake. At the other end is Kyoto. And there's a bike path going all the way around. So my plan is to take the bike path to the right, and tomorrow I'll get to a hostel which is halfway down, and stay there a few days. I plan to enjoy some swimming and some kayaking and goodness knows what else. And but what I'm going to do today is still a bit of a mystery, because it's very early still. It's only 2 o'clock in the afternoon. There's a rock. I can sit on that rock. That'll take at least 10 minutes. Because if the guy's not back till 6 o'clock, that's 4 hours. It'll wait. I have a feeling the place is open because the doors to the toilet and the shower room were open. But I think what I'm going to do, after I've had a rest, is go and find the campground. And that'll be plan B. If this guy's not open and the campground is, then I'll know what to do. Yeah, and it's time for another chat. So here am I, sitting in the forest on the shores of Lake Biwa. I was originally planning to stay in the rider house, but given that I arrived at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and the chap wasn't going to be there till 6, and that meant 4 hours of sitting around on the lakeside in the hope that he was open, which I'm pretty sure that he is, but you just don't know. I've ridden past so many closed campgrounds and hotels and resorts and places with broken windows, and yeah, you just don't know what's going to be open and what isn't. So I thought plan B, ride to the campground, which is only 1 kilometre and then a 100-metre hike uphill, and it's very open, and the lass had me lassoed and paid up and into a campsite before I could bat an eyelid, basically. So here I am. Here I am. So, I mean, that's why I brought a tent to Japan and all my camping gear, so that I can camp, because I love camping. The only downside is the mosquitoes, so I think I'll be sneaking into my tent very early tonight. And I don't know how bears survive in the woods with all these mozzies, but anyway, we'll let them worry about that. So yeah, and that's not my tent in the background. My tent's still packed away. I have to unpack it and get organised. My tent is up and organised. Can't really peg it out terribly well because this ground is just rocks, basically, a bit of sand. So I've just got it standing and gravity will hold it in place. Hope it doesn't get too windy tonight. I've got the kettle on to boil, or a pot, for a coffee. Very kind gentleman over there gave me a mosquito coil because he didn't like the thought of me itching and scratching all night, no doubt. So yeah, this is one campsite all set up and organised for the night. Time for a coffee. I'm about ready to go and leave this lovely campsite. I can put my love affair with Komoot on hold for the day because I'm just going to follow the lake around, and there's a bike path. If I stray off the bike path and go to the left, I'll fall into the water. If I stray off the bike path and go to the right, I'll end up going uphill into the forest and being eaten alive by mosquitoes. So really the only option is straight ahead, follow the arrows. Dead easy. And this is what the lake looks like. Very calm this morning. There's my bike, there's the road ahead. You can see the blue line. Anywhere that you see that colour blue on a road, it means it's a bike path or bike trail or something for bikes. And every now and then there's an arrow. And this is Lake Biwa. I keep seeing all these herons and other bird life sitting on rocks. There are half a dozen of these big fat black birds with their wings spread out, drying them on the rocks. And they don't worry about the cars, but as soon as they sense me, it's, oh no, there's an orange bike, get out of here. And they fly off, and all I get is empty rocks. Through there is a heron on a rock. I'm going to leave my bike here and sneak up on it. Bastard, flew off. I must say, being able to cook and eat fried eggs on toast in a pavilion on the shores of Lake Biwa in Japan, that's something special for me. Over there, right on the edge, is a heron. And I'm going to walk up and see how close I get before it flies away. Stay there, heron. Stay there. Oh, there it goes. Don't know where it went. Anyway, it's gone. had a very relaxing day here at Omimako. I was initially planning to stay for a couple of days, but I've decided I'm going to move on tomorrow. This is a lovely area, but in 2 days' time it's going to start raining, and it's going to rain for at least 4 days. So either I move on tomorrow or I'm here for another 5 or even 6 days, and there's just not enough in this area for 5 or 6 days. Kyoto is just 40 kilometres away. I can easily spend 5 days in Kyoto doing all sorts of stuff, even if it's raining. But here, yeah, there's only, I went swimming. It's all very nice. Not really anything else to do, and there are hardly any cafes or anything here, so it's not as if you can sort of go for a swim in the morning and then wander off to a cafe for a coffee in the afternoon. So I'm not the only one walking up the hill. Here comes a gaggle of kids. And there's a bike packer as well, with hardly any gear. Just calmly riding up the mountainside. I've arrived at the top of the hill. There's this quite cute little shrine here that I've just shown, but I'm going to sit here and have a rest for a few minutes. Yeah, the hill was reasonably steep, but it's only it's 11 o'clock in the morning, so I've made it in good time. I was passed by one bike packer on the way up the hill, and there were two that came down. One was bike packing, as in very little gear, on a sort of a road bike, and the other one was also on a road bike, but he was loaded up with the panniers like I am, so maybe he was camping too. He smiled and waved. None of the others have. And then I've been chatted at by two gentlemen who didn't know any English, but my Japanese isn't quite up to it either. There's been a few scooters and there's been a few walkers, and it's a popular road for people wanting to enjoy life, I think. There's cyclists and there's walkers and there's scooters, and there's not much else. This is the shrine here. I'll go a bit closer and have a look. Has the bell at the top, has the deity wearing a red apron or scarf, some fresh flowers. While I was sitting here having a bit of a rest, a lady came up and lit 3 incense sticks. She also lit a candle, said a bit of a prayer, then she put the candle out, took it away with her and left. And while she was doing all of this, she was smiling and laughing and chatting with me as well. So, yeah.